So I think we'll get started, and I first have to give apologies because Haiyun has a family problem, and he sent us a recording of his speech. So I'm just going to introduce the recording, and then if anyone has questions at the end, some people may come in. I realize at this time of the conference there may be people online, maybe people coming into the audience, but it's hard when it gets to the end of a conference because there's been a lot of energy over a lot of days. This is the last session, and after this session there'll be the closing remarks session to complete the Congress. And it has been a wonderful experience for me and for everybody that I've talked to. So I am here again introducing a friend and colleague. As you get older, you get to know more people. So Haiyun graduated with a medical degree from Beijing, from Peking Union Medical College in China. He began his academic career in September 1996, working in academic institutes of the USA and Canada. In September 2011, he was appointed as an outstanding professor by Shantou University Medical College in China, an institution that I know well. In November 2019, he was appointed as a professor at Wenzhou Medical University, where I do some work, and a chief clinical researcher of Wenzhou Kangning Hospital, with whom I have collaborations. So I have to declare conflicts that I actually know this person in the context quite well. During the past decades, he's participated in and presided over a couple of research projects funded by the National Institutes of Health in the USA, by the Medical Research Council and the Canadian Institutes of Health Research, and by the National Science Foundation of China. And he has published papers that have been very highly cited. Some of his papers have been cited more than 3,600 times. And he does good service as an editor, an editorial board member in quite a few journals internationally. So it's a pity that he won't be able to present today to our conference, but he did provide a video, and so I will ask the technical team just to begin Haiyun Shu's video for us, and we can have questions afterwards if people have interest. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Before I start my speech, I would like to say thank you to the organizing committee for inviting me as a speaker of this symposium. The topic of my speech is effects of artesunate on Clozapineinduced Lipid Metabolism Dysregulation in red hepatocytes. First of all, I would like to give a brief introduction about antipsychoticals. For a long time, there was no effective medical therapy for schizophrenia patients until 1952, when the first antipsychotic clopramazine was developed, which initiated the pharmacological treatment of schizophrenia. Since then, a number of other antipsychotics were applied in clinical practice, including flurfenazine, propantixol, and haloperidol. All these drugs belong to first-generation antipsychotics, FGA or TAPS. They mainly affect on dopamine D2 receptors. While these drugs are effective in treating positive symptoms of schizophrenia, a major issue with them is the limited ability to treat negative and cognitive domains of schizophrenia, alongside with the risk of extrapyramidal symptoms, EPS. Then let's see second generation of antipsychoticals. Of them, clozapine was first one developed in 1961, followed by risperidone or olanzapine, quetiapine, levetiracetam, aripiprazole, extended release paliperidone, arsenopine, enoperidone, and paliperidone long-acting injection. The second generation of antipsychoticals, or typical antipsychoticals, act at multiple neurotransmitter receptors, including dopamine, D1, D2, D3, and D4, adrenocortical alpha-1 and alpha-2, serotonin, 5-HT2A and 5-HT2C, histamine, and muscarinic receptors. Because of their novel receptor binding profiles, the typical antipsychoticals have good efficacy on negative symptoms and induce less EPS. Another issue I would like to mention is high levels of metabolic syndrome, MET-S, in patients with schizophrenia. According to a previous meta-analysis, almost 1 in 3 of ANC-negative patients with schizophrenia meet criteria for MET-S. 1 in 2 patients is overweight. 1 in 5 appears to have significant hypoglycemia, and at least 2 in 5 have lipid abnormalities. Although many other factors may contribute to the elevated prevalence rate of MET-S in schizophrenia population, several reviews and meta-analyses have demonstrated a role of certain atypical antipsychoticals. They cause variable degrees of metabolic side effects such as weight gain, obesity, dyslipidemia, insulin resistance, glucose intolerance, overt diabetes, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and in rare cases, steatohepatitis. A study in China found that the prevalence of MET-S in a total of 468 schizophrenia patients taking clozapine was about 43%, with 40% in males and 51% in females. In a recent study from my lab, intraperitoneal administration of clozapine for 6 weeks increased plasma levels of triglyceride and led to hepatic steatosis and cirrhosis, along with high levels of CRP, ALT, and AST in rats. But these clozapine-induced changes were not seen in rats co-administered with clozapine and artesunate. What is artesunate? It is a semi-synthetic derivative of artemisinin, isolated from the traditional Chinese medicine, Artemisia annua. Artesunate showed anti-inflammatory properties in vitro and in vivo models of rheumatoid arthritis. In another animal study, artesunate decreased the plasma cholesterol and triglyceride in rabbits. Moreover, it attenuated liver steatosis and reduced the area of aortic root lesions in the rabbit. Therefore, the objectives of this study were to create a cell culture model of clozapine-induced lipid metabolism dysregulation, and to examine effects of artesunate on possible changes in lipid metabolism, relevant parameters in cultured cells, and explore potential mechanisms. We used a normal red liver cell line, BRL3A, which was purchased from Shanghai Institute for Biological Sciences. The cells were grown in DMEM with a relatively high concentration of glucose plus penicillin, streptomycin, supplemented with 10% fetal bovine serum in a humidified 5% carbon dioxide atmosphere at 37 degrees centigrade. We did 4 experiments in this study. The aim of experiment 1 was to find a suitable concentration of DMSO as the vehicle for clozapine. Cells were cultured in DMEM in the absence or presence of various concentration of DMSO, as shown here. In the end, cell viability of all groups were measured. It was found that cell viabilities of all DMSO groups are same and comparable to that in cells cultured with DMEM, indicating no toxic effect of DMSO used in this experiment. The aim of second experiment was to examine effect of clozapine on lipid metabolism in BRL3A cells. Cells were cultured in DMSO or various concentration of clozapine, as shown here, 20, 30, and 40 micromolar. In the end, levels of free and total cholesterol and triglyceride in the cells were measured. It was found that levels of free cholesterol were significantly higher in all 3 clozapine groups as compared to the DMSO group. Similarly, levels of total cholesterol were significantly higher in groups of 30 micromolar clozapine and 40 micromolar clozapine as compared to that in DMSO group. However, clozapine didn't show effect on levels of triglyceride in the cells. The aim of third experiment was to examine effects of artesunate on clozapine-induced changes in lipid metabolism. Cells were treated with 40 micromolar clozapine or clozapine plus various concentration of artesunate, as shown here, 5, 10, and 20 micromolar artesunate. In the end, levels of triglyceride, free and total cholesterol in the cells were measured. It was found that levels of all these 3 parameters were significantly lower in cells treated with clozapine plus artesunate as compared to the group clozapine alone. The aim of experiment 4 was to explore potential mechanisms for the effects of artesunate on clozapine-induced lipid metabolism dysfunction. Cells were treated with DMSO, clozapine, artesunate, or clozapine plus artesunate. We measured mRNA levels of some lipid metabolism relevant genes, including SREBP1C, PPAR gamma, HMG coenzyme A reductase, LDLR, PPAR alpha, MCAD, and CPT1 alpha. After by RT-PCR, after extraction of total mRNAs in the cells, it was found that mRNA levels of SREBP1C, PPAR gamma, HMG coenzyme A reductase, and LDLR were significantly higher in the group of clozapine. However, these increases were significantly ameliorated by in clozapine plus ART group, while ART alone showed no effect on these parameters. In addition, levels of PPAR for mRNA were significantly higher in all three experiment groups as compared to the control group, DMSO. Similarly, levels of MCAD-MRA were higher in ART and the clozapine plus ART groups as compared to DMSO group. Moreover, mRNA levels of CPT1 alpha were lower in ART and the clozapine plus ART groups as compared to the MSO group. The aim of, in addition, we measured protein levels of AMPK, PAMPK, and SREBP1 in the cells. It was found that the phosphorylation levels in ART and the clozapine plus ART groups were significantly higher compared to that in DMSO group. As for SREBP1, it was found that the level of it was significantly higher in clozapine group, but it was not increased in groups ART and the clozapine plus ART group. In summary, this study found clozapine increased intracellular free and total cholesterol levels in BRAL3A cells. ART reversed clozapine-induced elevation of free and total cholesterol levels in the cells. ART promoted AMPK phosphorylation in the cells. ART ameliorated clozapine-induced upregulation of SREBP1C mRNA and SREBP1 protein in the cells. ART alleviated clozapine-induced upregulation of PPAR gamma mRNA and upregulated PPAR alpha mRNA in the cells. ART reversed clozapine-induced upregulation of HMG coenzyme A reductase and LDL mRNA in the cells. All these results suggest a potential application of Artesunate for clozapine patients with lipid metabolism dysfunction. This work was supported by Santo University Medical College and the Carson Foundation. Thank you all for your attention.
So that was Haiyun Shu's lecture. It was much shorter than a plenary lecture was expected to be, but he's facing some very difficult challenges traveling to support a family member who's extremely ill. So I think he recorded that very bravely for us to be able to participate and honor his commitment to the conference. And so we should be grateful for that. And I think we will simply close and give you the opportunity to attend one of the other ongoing sessions. There are a few more sessions going on, and then the closing remarks will be 16:45. Thank you for your attention.